these 3 or 4 hour nights fit my style. It's been a long road getting ready for this year, and then obviously we were in Australia last Sunday. Came back here, regrouped again, and showed up this weekend with 10 more trucks to race. So it was pretty cool that less than a week ago we were in Adelaide, and now we're here, disrupting your press room just like we did over there with V8 Supercars. Come on, you guys got to wake up. Jesus. Laugh, smile. No joke.
All right. So, one more question before we open up if anybody has anything. So, qualifying in Super Trucks pays $4,000 cash. So, that comes out of your wallet. Who's going to get the money this week?
Don't tell Melanie, all right? I didn't win any money, we lost. It goes from left pocket to right pocket. It's one of those deals, normally, I have, it's the first poll in a while. Matt Brabham and Sheldon Creed have probably won the last 6 or 7 weeks of polls going in. So, to come back and finally be able to put some laps down here. The track was really greasy yesterday, and it's still pretty slippery today. And I've been able to manage the throttle and get the thing to get on 3 wheels and drive forward. It sounds funny, and when they get on 3 wheels, they actually go faster. When they're sitting there flat, sliding, they just don't go anywhere. They just buzz the tires off them. So I was able to get them hooked up, and it's good to be back racing here in America too. And I was glad to see when we were out there that, I say they come out of the woodwork. Doesn't matter if it's the boats or where they come to. As soon as we hit the racetrack, the fences are 4 or 5 deep, if not 10 deep. So it's pretty cool. We filled up the whole inside area, and we seem to shift everybody from one side of the grandstands all the way to the end. One of these days the grandstands are going to tip over because they're over there hanging out, looking at the jump, trying to check it out.
And Paul Morse, coming from racing sprint cars, V8 supercars, you've been in a lot of different race vehicles over the year, but this is the 2nd year now in a row that you've signed up to race the entire series, and whether we're here in China, Australia, whatever, you're following Super Trucks, and this is what you're doing right now. What is it about Super Trucks that made you make that decision?
I think it's probably the only series still around that pays good prize money. So you can turn up and you've got a shot at winning some decent dough and putting that money in your pocket and having a good time on the way home, so pretty good.
Fair enough. And Sheldon, coming off of 2 championships and umpteen poles and racing wins and stuff, to go into Adelaide last weekend, not win every round, which you can't win every round, but you've been on the gas, and now to have Robby pass for the lead up front and show that he's got the speed to win, does that change your mindset at all going into tomorrow or the rest of the season?
I mean, Robby's always got the speed to win. He just doesn't show it all the time and stuff. No, I just always give him my 100%, always drive as hard as I can, whether it's practice, qualifying, or racing. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, and I don't know, for sure got to slow it down a little bit to be a little bit faster tomorrow. So just going to go back, get a couple things, and just try to give my best tomorrow.
There you go. Does anyone have any questions for either of these 3 competitors? Yes, sir.
Jim Tomlinson, 3 times. Was curious about the repaving of the track between last year and this year. Is that something you guys really feel, considering your tires and shocks and everything else, that isn't noticeable?
It just seemed really slick when we started. I don't know if what IndyCar said after qualifying, but it just seems very, very slippery. And how do I say it? For us, we get better grip when we have 2 tires in the dirt. So it lets us hook on the inside of the corners. Obviously, we try not to do that when we go to the IndyCar racetracks and try to keep the track as clean as we can. And but we've got 10 inches of sidewall on the trucks alone, so we don't really notice it. The biggest thing I do notice though is it's slick, and when it gets slick, like Sheldon said, you have to slow down. It sounds crazy, but if you're sideways spinning the tires, you think you're going fast, and it feels really good, and the lap time's horrible. And it's the same thing. Doesn't matter if it's an IndyCar, a NASCAR, or a stadium super truck. If you think you're going fast, you went slow. Thanks for asking the question. You get a trophy. That's the first question in 5 years of IndyCar that anybody from the media has had. That's not true, Bill. You got a couple. That's right. It's great to see you guys.
Does anyone else have any questions?
I got 2.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you run with IndyCar here, you run with them at Long Beach, you also run with them at Toronto. You kind of become the de facto support series for IndyCar and street courses.
I thought IndyCar was my support series. Only kidding. It's honestly a pleasure to come here and race with them. We're just so different, and I think the fans, they go crazy because they've never seen anything like this, and it's been good. You know, being able to race with IndyCar and V8 Supercar, it's good, and I think we complement each other because we're so far different that it makes a good mix for, at the end of the day, that is entertainment. We do have fans out there that want to be entertained and they want to watch good competitive racing as well. So it's pretty cool that we get to do this. Like I said, we're here at Long Beach. We go back to Australia to Perth. Then we do Detroit, Dallas this year, Toronto, and then we've got 4 rounds in China. So we've kind of got a World Series set up. We're in China for 4, Australia for 3, and then 5 with IndyCar, which is pretty cool.
Yes, in the back.
I'm glad. What happened to you guys this winter? You guys are coming alive. I love it. I can't believe Miller hasn't asked a question. He just said, hey.
When your 8-year-old kid gonna start running these things?
Sheldon has, you know, he won't listen to what I say, a typical, you know, father-son relationship. So I passed Sheldon on to him, and you know, Sheldon's got him doing backflips on bicycles in the lake. He's got him, you know, doing full moto on the UTVs, and you know, it's pretty cool. So Sheldon won at Parker a couple of weeks ago, and Max finished 3rd, which was pretty neat. And he totally idolizes Sheldon, so it's cool. Thanks. He's 8, and maybe next year we can have him here. He wouldn't finish last in SST, I can promise you that.
Yes, sir.
Robby, now that Liberty have bought Formula One, any chance of knocking on their doors and showing the Formula One fans your brand of racing?
I would love to show Formula One fans our form of racing. You know, I think we're just so different, and you know, it's. I know that we're going to go to Shanghai F1 track, and we're probably going to run at Yaz as well, but that won't be on Formula One weekends. But you know, I think if we keep doing what we're doing, we'll get those opportunities. And like I said, you know, we don't IndyCar. I say welcomes us, but we do a deal with the promoter, and the promoter knows that we're putting people in the grandstands and bringing them literally off their butts and onto their feet to watch races, which is pretty cool.
Anyone else? All right. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate your support. We are lucky enough to get a lot of press everywhere we go, and we know that comes from this team right here, and it's very much appreciated. And so thank you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow after our race is over, and we hope you have a wonderful evening.